Secretary Association was in a meeting. They all acknowledged that they've willingly returned to the classroom, to provide the knowledge that they've signed up for to the young people of this country. We were very happy about that. We also had conversations about going forward, how we should engage with each other. They too admitted that they had some lapses. They did not engage the CSA and they took their issues to places that they didn't have to. So right now we are on the rightful footing. The Vice President is going to be engaging with the leadership and will be formally engaging with the CSA. And some of these issues are issues that we sit together and talk through them and see how we can deal with them. And the government is committed to addressing the welfare of civil servants in this country, of employees in this country. So much has been done, from improving the salaries. You remember about 23,000 people, essential workers in the education, healthcare, security, agriculture. We top up their salaries in a significant way. We now don't have anybody who's receiving less than $150 on the payroll. Those are significant strides. We got thousands of volunteer teachers and healthcare workers we brought onto the payroll. Up to now, we're still bringing some of them. As a matter of fact, we got allotment from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for 829 volunteer health workers that are being placed on the payroll right now as I speak to you. We also got allotment for 1,306 volunteer teachers that we are also putting on the payroll. This is significant. It's very important. So we have to work together. The president always talks about institutional collaboration. That's exactly what we are doing here. So it's very important that we work together. That's one thing I've come to stress and to engage with them on. The other part of it has to do with the president's Young Professionals Program, the PYPP. And I am the chairman of the board of directors of the PYPP. So I'm here with the PYPP leadership in Bon County to sit with the supervisors, the mentors, and the PYPs themselves to make sure that we follow through how they are gaining their experiences at the learning process, understanding how the systems work, so that at the end of the day, these people can take over from people who are about to retire, bring them to change the landscape of the workforce, professionalize it, make it efficient, and make it very productive. So we are decentralizing the PYPP program across the country. Now we are going to do Grand Bassa.
How do you or team your beneficiaries or maybe participants?
It's very professional. It is open over a long period of time. They apply, and after applying, they are evaluated. After the evaluation, they do interviews. They take a test. It is competitive. It is a merit-based process. Once you are successful, you are successful. Individuals don't just determine your success. In fact, that's why the PYPP does not do it on its own. One country alone, you should be happy.
Okay.
74 young people applied. 61 young people will be sitting the test right here. Right here.
Is that a plus for the county?
It's a plus for the county. Yeah, and it's a plus also for Grand Bassa where we are going. So this is what we do. Moving to other countries will depend on the resources.
You see the mark, what the mark in your office? It's very important. You got that mark in there, just in case, for compensation or relocation package, and that marking can go back. So nobody must stop nobody from marking that. Thank you very much. Tako again. I am afraid you take care, but I beg you will be here, you set up us. Small so we can move. Hear that message? Message there. So let me tell you something. You see the mark, what the mark in your office? It's very important. You got that mark in there, just in case, for compensation or relocation package, and that marking can go back. So nobody.
Friends, this section is not legal yet. Maybe we come for here with you. This section is not legal to get Kool. We are not video recording talking. You're carrying for your dryer. We put in your machine. This section must be legal. But Kool, they told together record and start talking. No, to get you. Don't believe it. To the press, this section is not legal yet. Maybe we come for here with you. This section is not legal to get Kool. We are not video recording talking. You're carrying for your dryer. We put in your machine. This section must be legal. Bakoro, they told together because I start talking, no, catch you. Don't believe it. To the press, this section is not legal yet. Any because when you with you, this section is not legal, get Koro. We are not video because they're talking, you're carrying when you cry off. We put your money. This section must be legal. Bakoro, they told together because I start talking, no, catch you. Don't believe it. To the press, this section is not legal yet. Any because when you with you, this section is not legal, get Koro. We are not video because they're talking, you're carrying when you cry off. We put your money. This section must be legal. Bakoro, they told together because I start talking, no, catch you. Don't believe it. To the press, this section is not legal yet. Any because when you with you, this section is not legal, get Koro. We are not video because they're talking, you're carrying when you cry off. We put your money. This section.
So, I will talk about the yellow machine baby. Huh? I didn't want to talk about the president, I will talk about it small. Huh? So I will talk about it. And I was talking so all of can hear it. Eh? So we're talking that Broadway, right? Thank you. So the yellow machine had 285 pieces. The yellow machine that they care about, the president sat there and said, no more day. God used to move from Morena and go to the southeast and go to Lofa and go to Riverside. Go down on that road. It's because public will have machine in every county. Today when you go to the county, the machine in Pongkanda, they get public where you are in Bangaya. You go Nima is there, you go Basa is there. So, say we forget about our thing we're doing. All the road is spoiled, we issue all in the ball, we got a bad arrow to go in the southeast. The president said on the first day, I saw the president got elected, he said, that when something has spoiled, don't fix it. You all carry the machine number in the county. So the machine will be 19 sets. The 19 set of machine, and we are making the thing I'm talking about starting to power and then away. The 19 sets, Bon County will have 2. Lofa will have 2. Basa will have 2. Nima will have 2. When I say 2, that's 2 sets. It's because the size of the population of the county. All the other county will get 1. Maserati big, they will get 1 because public will get all their machines they say na him or Maggie is also big, they will get 1 because public will Maggie and Morel, they finish coming together already. When you live in shopping town, you see I live in Morel. When you live in, and you know someone in the highway coming to my back, they all live in Morel, right? So public will be in between our 2 counties. Now, I will speak the public will not send people in all your county to get a place where they will pack the machine. So I hope your people there are working with them. And superintendent, please provide those spaces so that those equipment can pack. As soon as you're finished getting our land, when the people come back, the president has instructed the finance minister will start building the place where the machine is from the back and fencing and make sure nobody can let the steal you, right? These machines will be used for farm to market road. Because when you finish with a new road, if a woman playing a pepper way,
to the press, this section is not legal yet. Any because when you with you, this section is not legal, get Koro. We are not video because they're talking, you're carrying when you cry off. We put your money. This section is
transparent, the president.
Everywhere. Transparent. Everywhere. The president has nothing to do with recruitment. He doesn't even know that we are doing that process. We only report to him.
I want to ask you this question. You just talk about the civil service agency. There is no civil servant taking below $150. And then I saw a post from Martin Colley, who is one of the advocates for social justice in Liberia. He talked about he has received a copy of the payroll at the Central Agricultural Research Institute, and there are people still making below 150.
No, that on the civil service agency payroll.
Okay.
So he needs to know whether or not that was a separate payroll from the civil service payroll. But you know that the CSA has been very rigid in shutting down supplementary payrolls across government.
Okay.
In keeping with the 2019 Standardization and Remuneration Act is a law. You have to have one.
But I want to also, in a special way, recognize everything I have been in this building before, but I didn't know that there were good things happening in the corners. And the bad dream happened to be one of those things. I want to congratulate you. The improvement of the youth quality in this country, they are lower than your dream. And as a matter of fact, Minister and I came together very strangely. He had a program and it used to think about exposing people in a certain way. At one time I was invited. It was told with a topic that my story was told, and a blind man having completed blind, a PhD holder from a very reputable institution, Harvard University, who wrote my book, my life history, my biography, which you can Google and Amazon, because they ran out of them now. Dr. Malakwa, his son, he was through little tablet and that book was written. Because when he heard the story on the radio, he called me, he said, I had to write this. And the book's been on sale.
Distinguished colleagues, under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition. Under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition. And I was allowed to be critical. And I was critical on the issues. I stood on this floor almost every session to fight the government to remove Wabodigi from government. I was not anti-Nigerians. I was not anti-foreigners. I was standing on the principle of the law that people who do not meet certain bare minimum legal requirement or qualification cannot occupy government offices. In fact, I was jovially referred to as Wabodigi. By the time I raised my hand here, the whole Senate would laugh, Wabodigi. But I told them, distinguished colleagues, I was in opposition in the 54th when CDC led this Senate. But we pushed in line with our oversight for Zorizo, peace be to the artists, to be denied Senate confirmation. No, I want to. The person who can be Syrian, I want to don't take us seriously. Honestly. Honestly.
You filed 3 times from
Yeah, please. But I told them, distinguished colleagues, Toga Nimlet was named
designated chair to head LERC, the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. He was CDCN. Under a CDC gavel, we led the Senate to reject him. Madam Pro Tem, Darlington Kale was nominated by President Weah, a CDCN, under a CDC gavel. Our Senator Dillon, we led that man rejection in the Senate. We were opposition. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, for 3 years, I did not vote for the budget on the record because I was demanding domestic debt list. Once did I hear, never did we hear that we were anti-Kool people because Samuel Tuer and John Weah are Kool people. Where is nonsense coming from? Please, Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, where is nonsense, left-threatening thing coming from? That when you speak on governance issue, oversight, then you are supposed to be anti-NIMA. My left is threatened, my left is at risk, because the people who speaking, I know them. Madam Pro Tem, Madam Pro Tem. Madam Pro Tem, the Minister of Public Works must be brought before the Senate. The Minister of Labor, I want to make the case. If it makes sense, okay. If it doesn't, fine, I can live with it. The Minister of Labor did not go to his house to make a wild allegation to the effect that he was nominated by President Joseph Nima Bwaka to be Minister of Justice. His communication, his nomination was formally communicated to the Senate in keeping with the law and the practice, and that our Darius Dillon, as senator, fought his nomination in the Senate until the president withdrew him. He did not say that.
Edition of the morning, right? Pleasant, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Many thanks for joining us on this wonderful Thursday morning, the 27th day in the month of November, and the year stands at 2025, folks. Welcome to this edition of the Morning Ride. I'm Wiggy Brooks, Ambassador Vice alongside Sakamo and CS as well. And this is where we walk the walk and talk the talk. And as usual, help to shift the paradigm of our democracy. Without fear, without favor, we speak undiluted truth, the very hard truth that's here on this platform. Folks, welcome to this edition. Promises to be great, stimulating, very thought-provoking as well as we discuss critical national issues. Follow us on Kool 91.9, Kool Radio Online, our YouTube channel, as well as Kool. It's good to be back on your radio on this edition of the Morning Ride. Folks, welcome. Let's have a good time together on this wonderful. You know, there is this thing on the first segment we're going to talk about. You know, and this is it. This government has gone pretty close to 2 years. And the government that this government determined democratically in election is talking about coming back. And there are other opposition political parties that are also wanting to take step. In the last couple of months, pretty close to 2 years, since the inception of this government, is it a government that have convinced people that she deserves to have a second term in terms of being re-elected, or in the opposition? What former President George Weah have done in his opposition life tangible to show that he deserves to have a second chance? He deserves to come back. What can we point to? What are some of those things that he can point to and say, yes, that we have done this in our opposition, we have done this, we have done that. And the ruling party, President Boakai might not want to contest the presidency in 2029, but there are beliefs and hopes from people who have all the trust and confidence in him that he might still want to be, because looking at some of the presidents that we have in Africa, Cameroon, we saw a 92-year-old man won election in Ivory Coast and other places. We have seen these people, but in 2 years in opposition, what the immediate past regime have done to show or indicate to people that yet indeed they are serious, they're ready to come back. And in 2 years, or nearly 2 years of the presidency of President Joseph Boakai, who served as vice president for 12 years, can point out and say, look, this is what I've done and I deserve. Maybe he might not want to contest, but the Unity Party as a whole, to point out and say, look, we deserve to continue our stewardship in this country. What can we point to? Is it just to criticize, or is it just to condemn opposition? What are the tangibles? And if President Joseph Boakai should be voted, or his Unity Party should be retained in 2029, what are those things that we can point to? And if Liberians will see former President George Weah as an alternative in his opposition life, his political party over 2 years, what have they done for the people that support them? What can they point to? What are some of those things? What the criticism, the recommendation, can we say, yeah, they have criticized? What recommendation have they done? Do you see these two political parties surfacing in 2029, probably to retain the Unity Party or to bring back the CDC? And if the CDC are to come back, what are they doing in their opposition life? What can they show? What can they point to? Who are they lifting out of poverty? What impact are they making? And this government rescue mission, what are they doing as well? What can they show and say, yeah, we have done this, we have done that, we have done this, done. What can they show that even if President Boakai says, I will not contest, but the Unity Party should continue? These are the simple questions we are asking this morning. I want you to be honest. I'm not going to talk too much this morning. I brought this picture because we are about to enter December. And the next thing, January, the president again will go to deliver the State of the Nation address to your direct representations, your representatives, your senators, about the forward march of our country. He still has 4 years to go. But let's pitch up the last 2 years sitting at the helm of power, and the opposition, the immediate past government, and we hear that people say, oh yeah, we heard Honorable Magay who said the government see them will resign and say, let's go to election. I don't know where that other children talking from, but that's what he said. So, but because we have seen the level of hatred, and how many lives being touched by this government? How many lives being touched about the previous government, the immediate past government, why in opposition? What can we show? What former President George we are in opposition? What? Because more people have said he has spent more time out of Liberia now in opposition than being in Liberia. But this is how I'd like to welcome all of you to this edition of the Morning Ride. I will take this break to be right back.
All of us in the Senate, in our Senate chat room, we have the video. The Minister of Labor, he is angered in our exercise of our oversight responsibility on the work permit issue, went to the government-funded, sanctioned press conference.
The biggest homecoming ever in the history of Liberia. Liberia most popular and civilized city, Painesville, homecoming. Mary said good morning to you. Yeah, Painesville homecoming. Yeah, December 13th is loading homecoming. We'll shut down Liberia because people coming from abroad and home. So Mary said I'd like to say good morning to you and the entire team. Hope you guys are doing wonderful this morning. But we are coming outside on December 13th. Painesville homecoming. All of the folks. Yeah.
Where he said on video, live, that Senator Dillon is against the people from Nima. It's the same way I'm targeting him because the president nominated him. His letter came here and I fought it until the president will do him. In our same press conference at the Ministry of Information, regular weekly press briefing, the Minister of Labor said that that's the same target I used to target Senator Prince Johnson, peace be to his ashes. And that's the same thing I'm doing to him for another Nima person to die. But I told him, I'm not afraid, but my life is threatened. Your life can be threatened. Why are you being afraid of the threat? You understand? I want to make it clear. Our honored George, we are government and our declared national security threat. I couldn't even move places. But the reason I'm making all these statements in this chamber is because all these things are happening. When the labor minister came here as a nominee, he sat there and I asked him about work permit, what we would do about work permit to give our people a job, and he committed. And I told him that I will vote for you so that after 6 months, you can come give us what we're doing on the work permit issue for our people to get jobs. And in the exercise of that duty, when I confirmed that labor minister that day, my protest distinguished colleagues, I want to make it clear that he was not a cruel man when I confronted him. He was not bastard.
On the payroll, but the civil service has regulations. Every month, the HR submit attendance